And we live. Salute. What's good? Welcome to Spin a Block, the walk-up show. Y'all already know what time it is. We ain't got to do a whole lot of explaining. But do me a favor. Before you walk in my house, take your shoes off, dust your feet off, sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember to take some of these good vibes around to some of these other motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So, we're going to touch on a couple things, right? That I kind of sort of touched on yesterday. But sometimes without proper context and proper shit of what it really is, what's really going on, it's hard for everybody to get into it. So some visual, some fucking audio. Hey Shay, hey Rain, what's up, Black? Salute everybody. Happy Sunday. You know what I mean? For the people that don't know, like, and I didn't know this, right? So yesterday kind of spoke out of turn without knowing all the information, and that's why I don't like speaking on shit without having all the information. So I kind of have some sort of understanding of why Kwame Brown spoke on Charlamagne's wife, because he brought up some shit with his dad that happened back in the 80s or whatever. Like a couple of members of his family, you know what I mean, is fucking out there, just to say. But we'll get to that kind of later. But to stay on the Charlamagne train for a minute, Funk Flex Hogan, as I like to call the motherfucker, because he always sound like he giving a fucking wrestling promo, right? That's what the fuck he sounds like every fucking time. What's up, Liz? But I can't disagree with the shit that Flex said, especially with trying to make something normal as far as putting something in a woman's drink. And me and Charlamagne around the same age, I ain't never get down like that. I ain't never had to. You know what I mean? That's not to be bragging on myself or no shit like that. But anybody who was outside and you was outside, you had to do no shit like that. That's not normal shit. And for a motherfucker to speak on shit like that, like it's normal behavior, that shit might be normal for you, but that shit ain't normal to the fucking rest of us. Don't put that shit on like that's what the fuck men did back then, or boys, or whatever the fuck you wanted to call us at that time frame in our lives. That that's something that we did. No, the fuck it wasn't. That ain't how the fuck we got down. That might have been some college scene shit. I don't fucking know, because I ain't never been there. So I can't even speak on that. For those who have been, maybe y'all know, but not from the walk of life I was from. That wasn't normal shit. What's good, Capo? So with that being said, let's start this motherfucking show.
In one way or the other, I'm a bad brother. Word.
You're watching Generation X Radio. With your host, Street Knowledge.
A soldier dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once.
Are you not entertained? Yeah. These niggas rhyme cool, Cam. I got the hot for 'em, like a summer crush.
Coming up, I got 'em Fahrenheits. I turn the oven up.
Double up, Elmer Fudd barrel, Bugs Bunny hunt.
Banana clips, monkey
No,
lunch.
long nose, Humpty Hump.
Spun and duck, do an uppercut, then another punch.
Runner up, won't be no ties, son. Bust a Dougie. What?
Love and lust, life is but a war. I see blood and guts.
Yeah, bump your gum, shrimp. Got a lot of lip, bubble gum.
Lifeless in a box, you getting chalked. We a bunch of nuts.
That's crazy. Got to talk dirty, mom's Mabley. I'ma make your girl hold a stick like Sabi.
I'ma be the reason that Brenda got the baby. Lord save me. Praying to the sky as I wonder this. Is that a cloud or a camouflage mothership?
It's money mixed when the chips down, like some onion dip.
Another switch, shooting with an arc, ain't no covenant.
It's a jungle gym, pulling off these balls, push them up a bit.
Sun is lit, moon and the stars, I've been juggling.
It's troubling, pockets fat, yo, through the punishment.
Hung and lynched, same money tree can make a brother rich. Gun cop, fill him up with lead. One shot, off with his head. Two shots, coming for the bread. Three shots, run from the fed. It's so dark that my shadow's afraid. I'm so fast.
That's how you open a fucking show. I fucking love that shit. That shit, that's like the core of the culture, because y'all know how I feel about the culture. I try to stay away from the negative shit about the culture, because you gotta preserve this shit, right? Like, that shit, like, and that's the essence of the shit. Other people can talk all that other shit. I just like to enjoy the fucking culture. But anyway, boy, to the, and I'm gonna play the audio from the shit because I don't feel like going through all that flag shit. Everything that Flex said, I 100% agree with. Period. Ain't no way of getting around it, and I get to that. But to start this shit off, the Kwame Brown and Jamel Hill situation, right? Shorty didn't really say anything, but I also understand, because one of my pet peeves, and one of the things that I don't like, and this is not me saying that a woman don't have the right to speak on certain shit. The one thing that I don't like, if two men are speaking, or two men are engaging in something and we're going back and forth, nobody on either side, no matter who girl it is, who wife it is, should be intervening in that situation. And under those circumstances, she ain't nobody girl. She made a joke to say, she pretty much said, I'm gonna go back and look at my shit and make sure that I ain't say nothing about Kwame Brown because I don't want no smoke. That's all she said. Now, let me make sure I got the right fucking clip. I think this was his response, if I'm not mistaken. And if it ain't the wrong clip, we'll just go to the next one. Y'all already know what time it is. Ain't nobody gonna do it.
Get in line with your respect, we good, nigga. So what the fuck is you talking about? You niggas just crash out because you crash dummy. Soon as a motherfucker step on your sensitive ass shoe, soon as a motherfucker do anything with your little punk ass, you ready to flash off on a nigga. But a white boy can slap the fuck out you, say it's hot, white boy summer, all kind of shit. Kick. Please stay in your lane. Don't do that. Bye-bye.
What's the wrong one?
Mama's cooking. Because when men are speaking, you ain't supposed to be saying nothing, ma'am. Oh, did I say that? Yes, the fuck I did. You ain't got nothing to do with two brothers talking and figuring out their issues as men. The only thing you can do, ma'am, by adding in your 2 cents is fan the flames. So please hush, with all due respect. You don't know what you talking about. Got too many of you ladies jumping in lanes you ain't got nothing to do with. You let them goddamn beta males stand up for themselves. Ain't nothing wrong about nobody. Jack is proof that he's a jackass. Back, destroy, and talk down on black men. Because the first thing he can do is attack me as a basketball. The shit that I'm talking about is such a mental level above him that he's too stupid to see that he's sinking his own motherfucking shit. See, that what happened when you a beta male and you all you can sink your own ship like that. Calm your little.
What up, Dice? Now, see, I don't have no problem with what he just said right there. I just don't think it was the proper context. See, that's the case of, I want to say this, and I'm going to use this to say this. That's what that is. because she didn't interfere with shit. Let's be clear on that. She didn't interfere with shit. She made a fucking joke saying, yo, I'm going to go back to make sure I ain't say nothing about this motherfucker because I don't want no smoke. That's all the fuck she said. So none of the shit that he said applies to her in that fucking situation. The only way that shit would imply if she would have got in the middle and defended somebody or voiced her opinion about either side. She didn't do none of that. But he wanted to be able to get that shit off in front of that newfound audience. And I don't know. I know a lot of people on that train and they rooting for the homie and they like, yeah, he's talking like us. Yeah, I fuck with Kwame. I don't know, man. Shit just don't be feeling right to me. I don't know. It's just too much of a coincidence. Just me. Like, motherfuckers been saying that same shit about his basketball career for fucking ever. And now all of a sudden, shit is resurfaced. My bad. I pulled the fucking mic cord out. Anyway, back to what the fuck I was saying. Now all of a sudden, some shit from 3, 6, 7 years ago, however many years ago it was, from an exchange with Stephen A. Smith and fucking Jalen Rose, that led to a whole bunch of fuck shit on that platform. All of a sudden, that is being put back up like that's some new shit. It's not. That shit is not. It ain't at all. That shit is old shit. But it's being repackaged like it's something new. Just look at the motherfucker's hairline. The shit is old. Period. It's some old shit. So people want to say Stephen A. started that shit 6 years ago. And everybody was saying that shit 6 years ago. Like I said yesterday, it was a lot of shit surrounding that situation with his debut game. I think he scored something like 45 points. That shit ain't last that long. Because nobody wanted to blame y'all boy. Nobody wanted to blame the greatest player all fucking time. Nobody wanted to blame him. Not even the coach. So you know who took the blame for everything that happened on that Washington Wizards team? Kwame Brown. That's who took the fucking blame. And too much of a man to admit that shit had an effect on him. So he's not going to admit to the shit that players around him was saying at that particular time. Exhibit fucking A. These motherfuckers be talking about shit, don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Who I really felt bad for was Kwame. Because Kwame, when he came into the league, he was the best person in the draft. Hands down. It wasn't close. I saw it with my own two eyes. They brought in all the top big men, right? This is right at the Verizon Center. They brought them all in. He went against Tyson Chandler. He went against Eddie Curry, and he destroyed all of them. Like, it wasn't even close. And, coming there and having the pressure of playing next to MJ and really Doug Collins. Kwame won't say it now, but I can say it because I was there. Doug Collins, it was almost like he had a personal vendetta against Kwame. I would text him after sometimes. I'd be like, "You all right, man?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why he's going at you so hard. Like, he wanted to almost take his confidence. But it was really, if things didn't go right, he wanted to blame somebody and not blame MJ. That's what I think. So Kwame got all the blame, and it was messed up. But, but playing with MJ, Kwame would watch MJ and watch his habits, and watch the things that he's doing and stuff like that. But with Doug Collins in that situation, I really felt bad for him.
That's interesting, and I've really never heard anybody say that. Maybe they don't have,
Doug Collins was a fucking bad coach. He was a bad coach when he coached Jordan. In his early days, he was a bad coach when he coached them in his later days. A lot of them motherfuckers was scared of that nigga. And he took it out on a 17, going on 18-year-old kid. And that shit had an effect on him. His fucking debut game, he came out there balling, running all around the court, trying to save balls and shit, all that shit. If I ain't mistaken, I think he scored like 30-something points or some shit like that. But throughout his career with the Washington Wizards, that shit was up and down. And that's the shit that people spoke on. That's the shit that people focused on. Nobody wanted to say shit about the so-called greatest player ever. Which on the court, he probably was. I don't fuck with him. So I don't give a fuck. I don't have to say none of that shit. Don't matter what generation I'm from. I don't fuck with yo. Period. He even said in his book, and anybody that read his book, you'll see that shit in his book. Even though Kwame said this shit didn't happen, but Jordan said in his book that they had an exchange and he brought the kid the tears. What you think that did to that man's confidence? So anybody deserves to blame for the team or his career, because he wasn't the same after he left there. Because those are the highlights that everybody like to put up and show. The shit with the Lakers, the shit with the other teams where it seemed like he missed every shot. I think it was the Lakers, like the motherfucker scored 8 points. Everybody like to go to that shit. But just look at the shit when he first got to the Wizards. Shorty was balling, but they killed his confidence. And with everything, understanding what the fuck homie done been through, and I ain't know a lot of that shit. I don't give a fuck about nobody fucking business like that, right? But understanding what somebody been through and the road that they went through in order to get somewhere. What's up, Handler? To understand that shit, and then even the space that he in now, and for anybody bringing up the shit with his father and all that shit, you can hear in his voice himself that he don't really. And for y'all that don't know, back in the 80s, I guess his father beat a woman with a hammer handle or axe handle or some shit like that and buried her in a yard or some shit like that. Some shit like that, right? I'm not going through looking it up and reading it. Y'all can do that yourselves if y'all interested. And I think a few people did videos on it and shit like that, which I think is somewhat tasteless. But when you in this business, this is the shit that goes on. This is what happens. But and then there's also both of his brothers. His brother got a murder charge. The other one killed some people and killed himself, shit like that. Motherfuckers bringing all that shit up, which I think has nothing to do with him. But then understanding all that shit, leave that nigga alone. Leave him the fuck alone. Period. What's up, Crown G? What's up, Blue? Leave him the fuck alone. A motherfucker was quiet for 20 years. Even on his YouTube channel, he speak on his, shit the way that he speak on it. The people that received it. And now y'all then pretty much, like I said yesterday, indirectly helped his channel out. Which I don't know. I'm a hold on. I'm a wait to see how this shit play out. But it's still, and I know everybody, on that bandwagon, and they loving the shit that he say. But something just don't smell right. It just don't smell right. And maybe it's my biasness for the culture. When people start to speak on shit about the culture, y'all taught people how to kill each other. Ain't nobody. That shit, I like dead ass, and I got friends of mine that talk like that. That shit bothers me even with that. You know what I mean? Because I don't hold nobody, no rapper, no movie, no none of that shit responsible for the environment, for the decisions I made, and for the shit that I seen around me. That shit ain't had nothing to do with that shit. Because you know what? The shit was going on before that shit existed. This ain't a case of what came first, the fucking chicken or the egg. We know what the fuck came first. I know that shit sound good and everybody like that shit and everybody, So, to me, that shit is just it's just an excuse. To me. That's my opinion on the shit. It's an excuse. We want to sit around and blame every motherfucking thing but ourselves for certain conditions. And the first thing we want to point to is some fucking musical vibration. Like, then who invented it then? That's the shit that motherfuckers that say that shit don't ever say. Like, who invented this shit? Who made that music? Because it wasn't them. But anyway, with that being said, he spoke on the shit, and he said that he didn't know how his brother died or how his brother left here, which is very, very tasteless. And I always feel some type of way about that. Wendy Williams did that shit with Method Man and his wife when she was diagnosed with cancer. She announced that shit on the radio before they even had a chance to tell their family. And that shit is fucked up. It's some bullshit. You know who was her co-host at the time? The same nigga that said that fuck shit. The same motherfucker. Charlamagne. See, that shit is learned behavior, and people like to blame, because what Kwame said is you learned that from the white man. No, the fuck he didn't. He learned that from Wendy Williams' grown man looking ass. He learned that from her. That ain't come from no white media. That came from her. I know it's fun to point over there at them for everything, but some shit ain't them. Some shit is us. He learned that shit from her. He been doing his best impersonation of that shit since he been on the fucking Breakfast Club. He calmed that shit down a whole lot over the years, but go back before he got that skin cleared up. And he was almost getting his ass whipped every fucking other week, and motherfuckers running up on him outside the radio station. And a lot of that shit came from his time with Wendy Williams. They did a lot of fuck shit over there. I think a lot of people forgot about that shit. But a lot of artists didn't forget about that shit. That's why a lot of people still to this day, they don't fuck with Wendy. They don't fuck with him. So none of the shit that he does is fucking new. People from inside the culture know what he is and what she is. They can fool motherfuckers now by trying to repackage themselves and all of a sudden have some type of movement and care about something. They never give a fuck about shit but a bag. You know, they them vultures just like a motherfucker like Vlad. They ain't no different. The motherfuckers will continue to support them. You know what I mean? I might say whatever I feel about Flex Hogan, but Flex contribute to the culture. You know what I mean? She ain't contribute shit to the culture. Neither did he. They only benefited from it and took from it. That's all the fuck they done, which is no different than the other motherfuckers. I was talk all that shit about Vlad, and you got two motherfuckers look like us did the same thing. But now because they've repackaged themselves to make people feel sorry for her, she all showing her feet and shit because her feet all fucked. I don't give a fuck about your feet. I don't care. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't care. That shit might sound dumb, but I don't give a fuck about what's wrong with you. I don't care. You didn't give a fuck about what that man and his wife was going through at that time when you announced to the fucking world that man wife was diagnosed with cancer before they even had a chance to tell people, especially when it was somebody that private, where most people didn't even know that nigga was married. Show of hands in the room. How many motherfuckers have seen his wife? Him or Red Man, by the way. Motherfucker probably ain't even know that motherfucker was married. Motherfuckers ain't never seen them. But motherfuckers like them, that's what they prey on. They do shit like that. Start shit. And people gravitate towards shit like that. No different than, the shit that we do every day to each other. So I could see why most people wouldn't pay no mind to give a fuck. But again, I could give a fuck. Him with the whole fight for mental illness and all that. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit you talking. The situation itself, yeah, but you saying it, the fuck out of here. You don't mean that shit you saying. It's just another wave to jump on for people to fuck with you. You could give a fuck about that shit. So the fuck out of here. You wouldn't even stand up. This motherfucker allowed for, he sat there and let Gucci Mane talk about Angela Yee like she was just another woman off the street. Like, this has not been a woman you've been working with for the last 10 years that helped save your job and keep you there. You didn't even remotely even speak up or take up for her. And you motherfuckers want to run around and take up for him. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all fucking crazy. For either one of them. Now everybody want to feel sorry for her. She don't want nobody to know her business now. Oh, no, don't talk about me. My husband. And you made a career off of talking about people's shit. You think ain't nobody going to talk about you, shorty? Is that what you think? You think ain't nobody going to say nothing about your bad built ass? Nobody's going to say nothing about you. Built like a fucking Virginia Slim menthol. And you think ain't nobody going to say nothing about. Get the fuck out of here. You think ain't nobody gonna make jokes about your bad. You want people to feel sorry for you. You decided to show them fucking nasty ass feet. I don't give a fuck what's wrong with them. Nobody wanted to see that shit. You in this day and time, you think wasn't nobody gonna say shit? It wasn't gonna be no memes and shit and all kinds of shit. Don't nobody fuck with you. But anyway, I'm just saying, motherfuckers like that and them two and Vlad and it's a few others. They ain't the only fucking one. Ain't the motherfuckers that people attention need to go to when people want to talk shit and say shit about the culture. It ain't always the other side. It's motherfuckers like that. It's motherfuckers like that that need the fucking venom and the attention. Because other than that, we just keep them the fuck alive. And you know, they the same motherfuckers that try to destroy intentionally. Like it's because it's so fucked up. It's so crazy that this motherfucker predicted a little while ago what would happen with Joe Budden's podcast, and it kind of sort of happened that way. And look where Roy and Maul decided to affiliate themselves with. And I ain't saying that it was, I ain't saying it, but I'm saying it. It just look away. That's all I'm saying. That's how you gotta watch the motherfuckers that you be around. You gotta watch the motherfuckers that you tell what you're about to do. Even when it's something good. You can't share shit with everybody. You know what I mean? A motherfucker will wish bad luck on you. As my mother and my grandmother used to say, motherfucker will pray the devil in your life. I just kind of said my own way. You know what I mean? But they fucking will. You know what I mean? Like, Wendy, we all remember you in that fucking, like, you was an extra on Martin in a fucking elevator as a radio host. Y'all probably don't even remember that episode, but it was the episode with Tommy Davidson. And Martin and Stan snuck into the fucking the radio convention shit. They didn't have no passes and shit. They snuck in. I can't remember the whole plot of how they got in, but I know they snuck in. I don't know if they took a janitor shit or some shit like that, but she was on the fucking elevator. This one, she was a little chubbier. She actually looked better that way. You know what I mean? She looked like she was meant to be, for a figure. Now she just looked like I don't know, but that shit is strange. And you wonder why. But let's move past that. On to the rest of what homie had to say. Which one is it? Bear with me, I'll get it right. It's one of these fucking clips. I really need to start labeling these motherfuckers. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's spin the block real quick and I'll be right back.
Spin, come on, man.
They gonna come down and do it.
Jacob.
They gonna turn back around too. They come back around.
Atlanta to the shop.
Yeah. Spin the block, spin it one more time.
All the way.
Got the drop on you, send that side. Me and Durkee, yo, go back to back. Hanging out the window, Mac to Mac. Spin that block, nigga. Spin it one more time. I know that Glock, nigga. Load that one more time. Fuck them cops, nigga. Spin it one more time.
I know people be wondering, like, Street, why you choose that fucked up scene for spin the block? That it is kind of fucked up. But just for a second, I'm gonna get a backstory of why I chose that particular scene. It's because, truth be told, I don't really like that movie, right? Only because of one scene. Like, I like the premise of the movie and all that shit, but only because of one scene and shit, I don't like the movie. But that particular scene, and I know this might sound fucked up, is my favorite scene of the movie. Not because Ricky gets shot, but because when they come off the porch, dude in the wheelchair skips the curve. Like, this nigga be... Anyway, let me stop. But he skips the curve on some ill shit, like some trick shit. Like, he skipped that motherfucker. Like, what? But anyway, that's why I chose that part. It was because it originally, for those who've been around for a while, no, it was actually two. At first, it was two scenes. It was that one, and then it was the one from Menace to Society, Hurl and Kane at the light. And I just ended up sticking with that one. That's pretty much the backstory behind that. No rhyme or reason or none of that shit. But that's pretty much just happened for the people that fucking email me about this shit. That's the reason why. But let me go back to see if I can find this right fucking clip for a minute. Hold on.
Get in line with your respect, we good, nigga. So what the fuck is you talking about? You niggas just crash out because you crash dummy. Soon as a motherfucker step on your sensitive ass shoe. Soon as a motherfucker do anything with your little punk ass, you ready to flash off on a nigga. But a white boy can slap the fuck out you, say it's hot, white boy summer, all kind of shit. Kick you in the ass, and all you gonna do is cry, nigga. I can't touch the white boy, I'm gonna get a life sentence. Punk motherfucker. You'll kill a nigga in a minute, won't you? Crash dummy motherfucker. You done taught our culture a bunch of dumb shit. You niggas taught our culture a bunch of dumb shit. Kill, rob, shoot a nigga, sing it in every song. You punk motherfuckers won't say shit in a song about no other race. You made it okay to say kill black boys every day in a goddamn song and then turn right back around and holler about, oh, they killing us. You stupid motherfucker. How about you clean up your tongue, you punk bitch?
Tyler Perry's house.
Now, there's a lot of truth that he spoke, but truth be told, any place where you put people around each other, people kill the closest thing to them. That's just what happens. It's the same reason why we the only ones that get labeled as black on black crime, but white people kill white people. Any people in close proximity to each other kill each other. It's always been that way. That is no surprise. That's the shit that happens. In a perfect world, you would take the aggression and the anger out on the people who you believe caused that, but that's just not reality. You put rats together in a setting and you starve them to death. They're not trying to come out to get the person that's not feeding them to eat off them. They're going to eat off each other. What the fuck are we talking about? Man, I ain't fucking college educated, but fuck, I dropped out in fucking 10th grade and went back to school at 35. So it's a lot of people way smarter than me that still say this dumb fuck shit. I used to be one of those people, but it doesn't make sense to continue saying shit that's just not accurate. The problem is poverty. The problem is the lack of resources that cause shit like that. And it would never be fixed because it doesn't work that way. For the people that always wonder why they just don't stop it, because it wouldn't make sense to. It has to exist. It has to. And it always been, even before currency, even when you was labeled off of what you contribute to the community, everybody wasn't good at shit. Everybody wasn't a farmer. Everybody couldn't build shit. Everybody couldn't do this. They had to depend on other people to do it. So they bargained and traded for shit, right? So what about the people who wasn't good at shit, that didn't have shit to trade? What you think they gave up? Just imagine. So I'm just saying that this is the way shit works. It's how it is structured. It has to be. I mean, hope and fear works. It just does. That's the basis of religion. That's the basis of politics. That's the basis of your life. Imagine a world without hope and fear. What would you do? What would you even attempt to accomplish if none of that shit never existed? If the concept of heaven and hell never existed, if the concept of bad and good, if the concept of failure and success, all that shit never existed, what the fuck would you be doing? Nothing. Nothing would exist. Would nobody be doing shit? You just thought that if the concept was we was born and we died and that's it, we wouldn't be doing shit. It wouldn't be no inventions. It'd have never been a fucking pyramid. It'd have never been a car. It would have never been shit. It wouldn't have been nothing but fucking and death. Period. You can't even imagine it not existing. You can't. Because we've been programmed that way. You can't even think about it not existing. Because hope and fear is important. Period. So all that, you can't do that. It's not. Now, I would say this. And those other situations, well, what's difference between now and about 20, 25 years ago? Certain shit wouldn't take place because it was a sense of healthy fear when it came to certain people entering certain environments. And that's just a fact. I dare somebody prove me wrong. Most shit like that took place outside of it, not inside of it. Just saying. And for some reason that shit don't exist no more. That healthy fear has turned into something else. But it's not to say that the brother is wrong. Everybody goes through certain steps through their journey of enlightenment. You know what I mean? Because again, I used to talk like that. I used to say a lot of shit that I hear now, and I'd be like, damn, I used to sound like that, yo. I really used to say shit like that because that shit don't, you know what I mean? But again, it's not to say that he's wrong. The premise is absolutely right. But it's just not realistic because nobody says that to other people around the world and in other places of poverty. Nobody says that to them. Nobody even thinks like that under those scenarios. You know what I mean? When like it take, and before I move on, because I don't want to stay on the subject too long, take Charles Manson and his peoples, right? The whole premise, supposedly the whole premise to what they was trying to do was start a race war. Did they go in the house of people who look like us and mass murder them? No. They went in a house and neighborhood of people who look like them. And then really they was supposed to be going to the A&R's house that told him his music was trash, and they just went to the house next door. Small little fact, but that just happens to be a fact. A lot of that shit wasn't what they made it up to be afterwards. That shit was about his failed music career. But anyway, if we want to stick with the concept that it was to start a race war, then there you go. Again, they didn't go. Every house they want to go. It was people who look like them. Son of Sam. All those women look like him. I can keep going on and on and on and on, which one has nothing to do with the other because poverty didn't take place. But that's just what it is, because those was the people that was around him. This is the way the shit works. I'm just saying, that's just scientifically, that just happens to be a fact. Period. Doesn't have nothing to do with nothing else, all the technical shit. I know where people going. I know what place people set in when they say that. I get it. But remove yourself from that and think about it from a different term, and you'll understand what I'm saying. It took me a while to get there. I'm just saying that shit is not what you believe it is. It's just something else. But let's get to Flex Hogan. This one I will stick with the audio. Where you at, Flex? Where you at, Flex? Even though his motherfucker voice just gets on my goddamn nerve. Even though he ain't hawk up too much on this shit, he was kind of calm. But even with that shit, it's an ulterior motive in that shit as well. Because they, in competition with each other.
Somebody, a situation.
Oh, this is like 6 minutes, so let's go.
What I am going to say is, New York, Jersey, Connecticut, I wouldn't condemn somebody. A situation can happen. Something can happen. Things happen. And I'm not just saying things happen loosely and generically. I'm just saying maybe a mistake was made early on in life. And I get it. I don't like it. I don't understand it. Right? So this situation happens. It's a bigger charge. You put it out to a lesser case. You're young. I get it. The part.
I'm going to stop right there because that's something that happens all the time. I done heard people say over and over again, why would somebody plead guilty to something that they didn't do? And you got motherfuckers out here that have said, I'm not doing that shit. I'll blow trial and I'll get myself away from this shit. I know a few personally. You know what I mean? Everybody's not willing to take that chance. Everybody's just not. The shit happens. It happens. People plead all the time because you blow trial, you're eating all that time. If you blow trial, they can give you the max. But anyway, let's move on.
I'm going to share with you, New York. Because I'm going to tell you something. I really don't need to say your name because I'm going to tell you why. I don't care if everyone knows. I want you to know. Where this goes left, is you continuously, let me turn the music down. This goes left because you continuously stand on that podcast and stand every time you get to try to normalize. You try to normalize it every chance that you get, that it's okay to put pills in a woman's drink. You talk about it all the time, that it's okay, or it happens, or because you're young, to put drugs in a woman's drink and have sex with her while she's incoherent. You talk about it all the time. That's what makes you a nasty creep.
Yeah, Flex dropped the bomb on it. Like, that shit is not fucking normal. And maybe for the people who want the certain institutions and want the college, that shit is something that motherfuckers did. I don't know nothing about no shit like that. Flex is 100% right with him constantly bringing shit up like that. Even in the Bill Cosby case, steady talking like that was something that was normal behavior, and maybe for a certain subset of people it was. I don't know nobody that it was normal for. It wasn't normal within my environment. It wasn't normal for me. I didn't have to do no shit like that. Ever. Shit, I don't even... I'm gonna let this finish. I'll say what I was about to say.
Not because of the situation you had, because I'm gonna tell you something. I wasn't there, and I don't know what happened. But every chance you get, you know, New York, this guy stood on a podcast and he talked about spring break and meeting a young lady, putting something in her drink, and then having sex with her when she was incoherent, laughing about it.
That is fucking... That's some sick shit. Maybe the fuck is not to some people. That's fucking sick. Who I can't... I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to have... I don't want to be intimate with somebody that's not responsive. Like, something has to be the fuck wrong with you. Like, I don't... That shit I don't understand. And the fact that that particular person keeps talking about it. You know, when most people gave the pass for the excuse of, yeah, you know, I was young, she accused me of this, but I didn't do it. But you're constantly telling stories about these weird, nasty situations, admitting to doing something similar and saying it like, oh yeah, we all did that back then. No, the fuck we didn't. Don't say we all. Don't put us in your nasty shit. The fuck is you doing? That's nah. I didn't have to do no shit like that. I have the porch early. I didn't have to do no shit like that. I was cool. I ain't even trying to hit nothing if it was drunk. Just because I understood and still understand what the fuck the law is in almost every state. If a intoxicated female, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, wakes up and says she don't remember, she don't recall, she's ashamed, whatever it may be, of sleeping with you, you're being charged even if you was drunk. The law states that intoxicated women cannot agree to intercourse, period. So you are admitting to committing a crime on air. Now the statute of limitations with shit like that is typically 3 to 4 years. So, but every time you talk about that shit, and you have talked about it frequently, I don't listen to your podcast. So up until I heard this and went back and listened to some of this shit, you have spoke about this shit a few times. The only time I heard you speak somewhat about it was during the Bill Cosby situation, and I thought that was suspect. But I did know one thing that I did know about that situation, and maybe some of y'all don't, but if you go back and do your research, back in the 60s and 70s, there was something called Spanish fly that was a normal something, a fucking like something that motherfuckers put in women's drinks. Sometimes the women knew, sometimes they didn't, but it was something that they did. It was a part of the fucking party scene or some shit like that, if you look it up. Now, there's no way they don't make the shit no more. The shit no longer exists. I don't know where Bill was getting the shit that he had from, because there's no way that he stockpiled Spanish fly all these fucking years. That was somebody had been dead. I don't fucking know. But this shit, that back to Funk Flex and Charlemagne's situation, regardless of what Funk Flex, regardless of him having an ulterior motive, he's 100% right, because people are constantly supporting that shit. And when you're laughing about shit like that, you're trying to make it normal and saying we all ain't do shit. Stop saying we all. Say you and your nasty ass friends. Say that shit. Don't say we all. Let me try and include other motherfuckers in your nasty shit. Sucker ass nigga.
That's the, bruh, nobody wants you to get fired or to lose your situation.
Facts, Blue. That's the proper way to put it. And because it wasn't really like knocking motherfuckers out. It was, adding to libido, making them wanting to have sex, supposedly. I don't fucking know. By the time, we was all coming up, that shit ain't exist no more. You know what I mean? What's up, Say?
Nobody's like, man.
Oh, and hold on. Before I let Flex finish, Dante brought up a good point. Fucking Rick Ross said that shit in a song. In the context was kind of screwed and different. I can't remember how it was put, but I kind of remember how it was put. I just can't articulate it right now, right? And motherfuckers tried to get rid of him for it. Charlemagne has multiple times said this shit on his podcast and others, and talked about this shit with his little friend, with the little guy, with the little nerdy guy that keeps talking about the culture, don't know shit about the culture, shouldn't be talking about the culture, but because he's next to him, people think he should be able to talk about the culture. Fuck out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. But motherfuckers, including him, tried to cancel Rick Ross or whatever, and Rick lost endorsements and apologized and all that shit. And I get all that. But nobody besides Flex has said something about him constantly saying something about this shit. Yeah, sure, that's that motherfucker name, man. A little Shorts motherfucker that always keep trying to talk like he cool with fucking Dave Chappelle. No, you not. Dave don't fuck with you. Stop it. You need to stop that shit. Fucking clout chasing ass nigga.
The fact that you try to normalize that's okay, that's good, like it's things that men do. That's not what men do. That's what you do. You do it. I'm gonna tell you the most terrible thing about you, bruh. Because I watch you on that podcast, and you sit next to a guy. That guy you sit next to on your podcast doesn't care about our culture. He doesn't care about your culture. But you
exactly, Flex. And I don't I hardly ever agree with Flex. But Flex was on this one. Like, and it's obvious that homie don't give a fuck about the culture, and he doesn't have to. I don't like when people act like they educated within the culture and they're not. See, like Vlad or not, think Vlad a vulture or not, and I don't fuck with Vlad. But when Vlad gets on his platform and he talking to whoever, he gives the perception that he has done his research on shit. You can tell that just by the things that he mentioned when he's talking about the musical aspect of it. Fuck the street shit. Just the musical aspect of it. But that little guy that be with him, that handling, just put the name of the shit in there, brilliant idiot shit. The fuck the brilliant part. You two are fucking idiots. This shit don't even make sense, but you let him sit there and repeatedly say shit that be 100% wrong. It's not to say everybody has to be an historian when it comes to the culture. But if you're going to speak on the culture, you should at least know what the fuck you're talking about. Because if we constantly check each other on these smaller platforms, you can't talk about hip hop and even fucking battle rap and get the slightest little thing wrong without somebody checking you. And these motherfuckers in those spaces don't get checked by motherfuckers in spaces that know better. And then y'all wonder why certain people won't fuck with them. Y'all ever think about that? Like certain artists will not go over on that particular platform and fuck with those guys. They just don't. And it's kind of sort of because of one. But back to what Flex was saying.
Sit there and you laugh with him about raping women. You think it's funny. You know what else is funny, my brother? Because I'm it does, right? Makes you feel better about yourself. Because guess what, my brother? No cease and desist will help your guilt. And ain't gonna make you sleep better at night.
That's the thing. Like, I'm always one for creators, right? I'm always one for the freedom of being able to create and the freedom of being able to say the shit that you want to say as a creator. But it is absolutely nothing funny about you doing that to somebody. There's nothing funny about you putting something in somebody's drink and doing something to you. And you the same motherfucker that sit up there and talked all this R. Kelly shit. You the same motherfucker that did that shit. Meanwhile, it's funny that back in your college days or wherever the fuck days it was, you was putting shit in young girls' drink to have sex with them while they wasn't even aware that you was having. That's some sick shit. That's sick and that's twisted. And there's no possible way you should be even sitting in the space that you're sitting in. So you know what that tells me? And what that should tell anybody? You look at this shit that they're attempting to do. And then I'm just gonna say it. Look at this shit that they're attempting to do to Joe Budden. It's a reason why they are attempting to do that shit. They are attempting to remove him from the space that he's in. Just look at this shit. Now I know some people might think whatever because of whatever with Joe, but this shit is just too much of a coincidence. All of a sudden he makes these moves, he separates himself from the Spotify platform and all this shit, and then here come all this bullshit. And they started with the shit, oh, he likes to touch his dogs. Like, what the fuck? Off of a fucking joke. But this motherfucker here, in the world of TMZ, in the world of a smaller platform, has even interviewed the young lady from his town who pressed charges against him for rape. And not TMZ, not none of these other motherfuckers have even. Y'all tell me, am I tripping? But you got Olivia Dope saying, and again, this is not me taking nothing away from how she might feel, but I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it funky, right? You got her on a few platforms saying shit that implies that she went through some sort of sexual harassment. And even after hearing the audio, none of us can clearly say it sounded like that, right? But how she felt is how she felt. But I'm just saying, if you look at one or the other, what's the difference? If we want to say Joe did all this shit, if we want to say Joe did all this shit or implied all the shit that Shorty said, which I think Shorty needs some help, to be honest. I think she needs some help because I didn't get any of that from the shit that I heard, just my personal opinion. But again, I could just been listening what my man is. Compared to a individual speaking repeatedly and repeatedly making jokes about putting something in a woman's drink and having sex with her while she's unaware and laughing about it. And nobody sees a problem with that. Nobody's trying to take anything away from him, but you got groups of motherfuckers out here right now at this present time trying to have Joe's platforms removed from certain media outlets because of what Olivia Dope felt. It's just, how does that look to you? And I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I'm not saying none of that shit. Something just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. My personal opinion. It looks a little fishy. You know, I could be being biased because I don't fuck with y'all. I don't fuck with Charlamagne at all. Never have. I always thought he was corny. That's just from the Wendy Williams days to his Philadelphia days. And motherfuckers that live in Philadelphia, motherfuckers remember how he got down in Philly. That's why he ain't last long there. He ain't last long at that Philadelphia radio station. At all. Motherfuckers gonna try to take his motherfucking head off. That little shock jock commentary don't work everywhere. That shit work for motherfuckers like Star because the way that it was done. You know what I mean? Like, it's a right way to do the wrong shit. And Star is still doing the same shit till this day, but it was just the way that Star did his version of shock jocking within the culture, because we had never had that shit in hip hop culture until Star and Buck Wild. Then Wendy came after, but it was nothing ever anything like that within the culture. That was always something that existed in politics and on rock stations and all that shit. It never existed within our culture. Now it's kind of the thing, and people don't realize it, but a lot of people, even doing YouTube, are fucking shock jocks. A lot of motherfuckers don't believe half that shit they saying. They just say that shit to get a reaction out of the motherfuckers that's watching them. They don't believe that shit. They don't believe in half the shit they saying. They just know, if I say this, it's going to cause a reaction from the crowd, and it's better to be hated than liked, because that's just how this shit move. If motherfuckers like you, you go nowhere. If motherfuckers dislike you, they watch you. That is the weirdest shit. Motherfuckers will go out their way to watch some shit they don't like. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch Rush Limbaugh. I don't watch any of that shit. I don't watch motherfuckers around here that I don't like their content. I don't watch And I'll say names because I don't give a fuck at this point. I don't watch fucking ZX. I don't watch him. I don't. Because our stances is two different things. I don't watch that shit. I don't want to hear no man talking. I don't want to hear no man sound like an old black woman for fucking 4 hours. I don't want to hear that shit. Beefing with a female. I don't want to hear that shit. I just don't. That's just me. And a lot of other shit. I don't want to hear the doxing. I don't give a fuck about who kids did what and that. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't think it's cool for a man to be pillow talking and exposing that shit to a couple of hundred people. So I don't watch. But I understand why people do. I get it. It's the same reason why people watch the Son Campbell. They don't like him, but they watch him. Shit with Young Pharaoh. Anybody else? Tommy Sotomayor. People complain about all the shit that Tommy say, but they watch this shit. When it's not for you, but it's for you. You want to be mad at something. You want to respond to something. Don't get it wrong. I used to be over there with the old nigga. I used to be over there with ZX. I used to be over there. Back when he used to disguise it a little bit better. When it used to be wrapped up around some shit where he was trying to deliver a message within the bullshit. And then it just turned into the bullshit. And just as a man, I just got certain principles. And when you talking convict this and convict, get the fuck out of here. What type of street nigga talk like that? Who? What type of man from the environment talk like that? I don't give a fuck what anybody say. You ain't that, nigga. It's no way possible. Nobody from my environment talk like that. We say real, recognize real because shit look familiar. Nigga, you don't look familiar at all. Because we don't speak like that. I don't give a fuck how far removed you are. It's certain shit that we stand on that doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't. And you don't go out your way to say convict this and convict that and da-da-da, and comfortable with police. I'm not comfortable with no fucking police. I had a fucking police. I ran out of gas. This was like, I was still married at the time, so it was like 10 years ago. It was towards the end of the marriage, but I was on my way to the house. Figure I had enough time to get gas. I've been lazy and shit. I should have got the gas before I went to the spot, before I went to the shit. But I ran out of gas at the fucking light. Long story short, the police was behind me. You know what I mean? The police was like, what's the problem, sir? Explain what the problem is. He's like, well, I got a gas can in the back. I can take you to go get the gas. I was like, I can give you my card. I can give you the money. You can go get the gas. You could go get it. But I wasn't trying to get in that car, man. And I'm way far removed from that street. I'm just not comfortable. It's natural. It's a natural shit. It's just something that's natural. And I'm not saying that it's normal. I'm not saying that it's right. It's just something that's natural. You was outside and you got off the porch at some point in your life, no matter when you got off the porch. Some of us got off early. Some of us got off later. But no matter when it was, you my bad. I pulled the damn cord out again. That's what I get for moving my hands around. But anyway, let me move on from that because that is what it is. I just find that shit. You know what I mean? I find it weird in the fact that people gravitate towards shit like that. whether it be men or women, and that becomes whatever it is, and people believe in that shit, when all these motherfuckers do is lie. I don't give a fuck whose side you on. You know, certain motherfuckers I like because of their delivery and shit like that. Doesn't mean that motherfuckers agree with all of them and all that shit. Doesn't mean all that shit. Just means that I fuck with the way that they deliver the shit. Because anybody that's doing that shit, they within the realm of mixing and turning the truth into whatever they want it to be. And any one of us watching it, we know what it is. We know what the fuck we watch, and that's why I stay the fuck away from all that shit. I'm good. You know, I'm good. I'm cool. I mean, I do what I do over here. I enjoy the content creators that I enjoy, and that's it. But I got my own house. I don't need to be on nobody panel talking shit about somebody and all that shit. Do. Y'all done fucked the whole game up. If we just want to keep it funky, y'all done fucked the whole game up. And y'all let a motherfucker come over here and kill the sector if we want to keep it funky. But I ain't even gonna get into all that. Y'all want that, go over to Dice channel. Dice spoke on that a couple days ago. But y'all let a motherfucker come over and kill a whole shit. Lay y'all the fuck down. The only reason why you chose to engage back with them because you couldn't do numbers without it. Period. The shit is soft. A lot of that shit is soft. I don't think a man should be engaging in shit like that with women. And that's always been my stance. Anybody that's been over here for the last 2 years know I done said that shit from the beginning. That shit is soft. And I'll always stand on that. But before we get out of here, back to this shit. I'm just saying when it comes to the Charlemagne shit, because I lost focus and shit. I was all over the place. When it comes to the Charlemagne shit, I'm not saying that I'm not saying for the people who enjoy whatever homie do, I'm not saying to you need to immediately not enjoy whatever it is and cancel him or whatever. But if you're going to have some sort of vendetta or some sort of venom against somebody else for something similar, then what are we doing? That shit just look crazy if you're going to stand beside somebody that finds that shit funny, that admits to doing that shit. Instead, you support him in the spaces that he in. He's been able to cultivate something for himself by repackaging himself. But it seems like other people that refuse to be a part of certain machines, see how they protected certain entities when they was a part of Spotify. As soon as that situation separated, a lot of things came at that person's door. You know, some people can think that person did it to themselves and all that shit. It just doesn't look like that to me. It just don't. I'm just saying, if we gonna hold motherfuckers responsible, we just can't pick and choose who we hold responsible. We gotta hold everybody responsible. Everybody that chooses to say shit like that or do shit like that, we got to hold everybody to the same standard. It can't be just because I like this one and don't like that one, I'm not going to say nothing. It can't be that way. That's not real shit. That's bullshit. That's not bullshit. I don't give a fuck if it's somebody that I fuck with. If I don't agree with something, I ain't going to say it, and everybody know that shit about me. If I don't agree with that shit, I'm going to say it, whether I fuck with you or not. If we cool, we should be able to do that shit. Even if I did some fuck shit, any one of y'all should be like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? Fuck you doing, fam? Yeah, Kwame did his he did his thing on the Charlemagne shit. Charlemagne overstepped his boundaries talking about that man family. I thought that was tasteless. And for those that didn't hear what the fuck he said about that man family, I thought it was unnecessary. And I didn't know at first, like I'm not going to front. When I spoke on it yesterday, I didn't know why he spoke on Charlemagne's wife. But see, when you from them small towns and shit, this is why motherfuckers got to be careful. This is a small world. You don't know who. And just like you knew that man brother, that man sister, it looked like he might have known, you know what I mean? He might have known who she was, who your peoples was before you know, she might have been your people's or why she was your people's. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be careful how you speak on shit. But again, and then that was inside of, and people try to mask certain shit. And when y'all hear this, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about, because he first tried to say like, yeah, y'all need to leave that brother alone, like he was on his side, and then do that doubling back shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's that fucking throwing rocks and hiding your hand shit. Stand up on your shit. I mean, like, what the fuck? Stand on your shit. Hold on, let me find this shit real quick. I usually be prepared, but I wasn't even prepared for this one. I didn't even have intentions on doing it at first. If I can find the shit. What the fuck did Rachel Nichols do? Like, Kwame going out there every fucking body. Like, fuck that, nigga. Y'all crazy. All right, where is shit at? I literally listened to this shit the other day. Like, I 100% listened to this shit the other day. I was like, oh, all right, that's where that shit came from. That's why he did that shit. And, you know, now a lot of people try and go out their way to get the homie on that show. Like, where the fuck was y'all at a few last year? Now, everybody want to try to get a Kwame Brown segment. Nah, where was you motherfuckers at last year? That's why certain motherfuckers be winning. Because one particular content creator was already on the Kwame Brown train. If you look at through Kwame Brown shit, y'all will see who I'm talking about. But where the fuck is this shit at? This is about to piss me off. Because I know I just literally watched this shit yesterday, and I can't find this shit. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'll be right back, because silence is the death of radio, and we ain't doing that over here. We gonna spin the block real quick, and I'll be right back. While I try to look for this before I end this shit. Because I do want y'all to hear what the fuck, what this clown said. I can't. I'm gonna find this shit, though. But we be back.
Where your money at, man? Fuck you mean you ain't got my money yet? Motherfucker, everybody know you hid the money from that robbery before you went upstate. I told you, motherfucker, I ain't got your money yet, man. What the fuck you mean you ain't got the money yet? Motherfucker, you best be coming up with my cash else, you know what I'm saying? Fuck you, Jack. Fuck you think you is, man? Motherfucking Ron O'Neal or something? Talking about I better pay her out. It's your bitch, nigga. What you gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Hey, hold up, Ted. Now get the fuck out the way. No, squeeze that shit, man. What, I'm supposed to be scared now because you got a pistol, motherfucker? I just spent 5 motherfucking years in the joint. I told you I'll pay your monkey ass when I feel like it. Better suck my dick.
Where do I even begin? Shout out to Woo, but we did the Woo with the P at the end. Big shout out to the city. Big shout out to the Crippin' for this big Damo business. This big Pyro business slipping. Spin it. There's no getting out once you win it. Big 45 my side of a slide. Stretch nigga out like a gymnast. P at the end. Big shout out to the city. Big shout out to the Crippin' for this big Damo business. This big Pyro business slipping. Spin it. There's no getting out once you win it. Big 45 my side of a slide. Stretch nigga out like a gymnast. To the city. Big not a rich nigga or a big spender. I'm a ditch digger. Leave your body floating in the piss river. Get disfigured, the lick hitter, sick trigger, sticking out the whip look like an antenna. Keep it a G, I got a key to the streets. They already knew, I thought I was being discreet. Here's a beast, niggas are waiting to see defeat. Here for keeps, I don't do none of that internet beef. Nigga, we just gon' meet, we meet. Then we meet and you don't want to fight with me, or all of a sudden not with beef. You see this Glock 19 in my fucking boxer briefs and now you're fucking copping please. I took my shirt off and showed my taco meat for nothing. I wanted to fight. That boy right there too restless. That boy right there too reckless. That boy probably fuck holes, touch the old bro code. Yep, you guessed it. I can show you how to up your pressure. Big bro got a couple methods. Had the best sex, stress less, let go, set goals, run through checklist. Back built like double decker.
My bad. I know that was too much for a Sunday, but I was trying to find this damn clip. My bad. I didn't mean to go to play all that shit. But here go what the fuck Charlemagne said about the Kwame Brown peoples that caused him to say something about his wife. So I take back my statement from yesterday about the shit about the wife. I think if somebody involve your family, no matter in which way they do it, then all bets are off. You know what I mean?
Tell y'all something. Leave Kwame Brown alone. I don't know if y'all know, but you could do a little research. Kwame Brown was born in Charleston, South Carolina. I don't think I've ever met Kwame, but I know a lot of his family. His family lived in Moss Corner, South Carolina. His father's name was Willie Brown. I don't know how many kids Willie Brown had. I don't know how many siblings.
Like, you see what he just did? Like, he knew exactly what he was doing. As a creator, you know it's a way to do something and put something out there. Like he said that man name. He had to say that man's father name. But he did that shit because he knew that in this day and age, 1,000 people was going to go out and research that man's father. And it was going to be a tons of videos about that man's father. Now he's dealing with that instead of dealing with him. That's what that shit was all about. But anyway.
Kwame Brown got, but I went to school with his sister, and I went to school with one of his brothers. Let me tell y'all something. Kwame's father in the 90s, I remember this story. He beat a woman with an axe handle. It was his girlfriend. And the rumor was he buried her alive. He buried her in the area that I grew up in, if I remember correctly. I've been trying to call my dad since yesterday to confirm the whole story because I literally forgot about this until yesterday. But the woman died and he got arrested. If he's still alive, he's in prison for life because he got caught because he left South Carolina after the murder and came back for his paycheck. Let me tell you something else. His other brother, I don't know if him and Kwame were close, but his other brother shot his baby mama several times and then killed himself. That was like in 2008. And his other brother, Kwame's other brother, just went to jail for murder like 3 years ago.
Like, why would you do that, blood? And Kwame said on his shit, like, yo, I didn't even know that's how my brother died. You know what I mean? Because I guess his father had a lot of kids and all that shit. I don't do all that gossip and shit. But I guess his father had a lot of kids. All of them didn't meet each other. So he didn't know how his brother died or the particulars around the shit. So you see exactly what the fuck, you know what I mean, he was trying to do. He masked that shit out of, oh, yeah, you shouldn't do this. But a lot of us as creators, we know what that shit is. You know what I mean? We know what that shit is about. You know what that shit is. You know how somebody try to hide something behind something, but really saying this and really trying to encourage people to do something. You know what I mean? I ain't saying encouraging people to do something to Kwame, but encouraging them to go out and look into his family shit. Now you'll have a bunch of people creating content off of it. Because just let's be clear, this is how sectors are created. Like all it take is somebody to do this shit and about his parents. Next thing you know is a whole bunch of videos being made and a whole bunch of people making videos about the past of his father, brother, all that shit. Then you'll have somebody claiming there's some fucking doctor and the family is this, and more than likely this is going to happen with him. Like, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, let me let this shit.
All of this you can Google. I'm saying all that to say, leave Kwame alone. That man has been quiet for 20 years. He don't bother nobody. Clearly all that, you know, all that he's a bust stuff gets to him, and you don't know what people are going through or have been through, but I've seen folks snap for less, and it looks like, you know, Kwame is snapping. And if you look at the history of men in his family, you...
Oh, here, Deuce, I don't really agree with that. I don't really think they give a fuck. I don't know why we think they give a fuck. It's been 1,000 motherfuckers saying this shit. It don't give it no credit because it comes from a former basketball player. It just doesn't. And he been talking this shit. It's just a lot of motherfuckers just got introduced to him. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about shit. Like, they honestly don't. The shit that we believe they be giving a fuck about, they don't. Because you know what the fuck they give a fuck about? They give a fuck about the numbers. And the one thing is for certain, that this shit is going to be beneficial to all parties involved. And that's the shit that people don't see. Kwame Brown numbers done went up. The numbers to all those shows that he done shit about has went up. So what is we really accomplishing? That's the shit that people don't realize. Like, that shit don't be exposing nothing. It be introducing people to people. Because now all those people introduce Kwame's Brown platform to a whole group of people that didn't know he had a platform. And then for the people who never watched them other platforms, they're going back and forth. And now they're watching what this person has to say and what that person has to say and run back over here. And all that shit is helping everybody. That's why it's just a little bit too much of a coincidence to me. And that's just me keeping it funky. And I say the rest of that shit for a later date just to see where this shit go at. Now, if he pop up on one of these podcasts, don't say I ain't tell you. That's all I'm gonna say. We really gonna see where it stand then. If he pop up on one of these podcasts, and Matt Barnes invited him, he been invited to a few others, we gonna really see where the people's champ stand then. That's what we gonna see then. That's all I'm saying. Like, some shit is just good for business. This shit don't affect nobody. For real. It just don't. It's good entertainment for people to hear somebody that come from that position and that background talk like them. That's the only thing people are excited about. Oh my God, Kwame said what I said. Fuck out of here. It's 1,000 motherfuckers that talk like that. It's 1,000 motherfuckers that been talking like that for a long ass time on platforms that motherfuckers don't pay no mind to. Don't pay no mind to. Look right past them motherfuckers. But because it's some attention, because it's some celebrity attention on some shit, everybody is on that boat. And I don't knock it. That's the way the game go. That's the way the game go. But I've been around this game long enough to know how this shit works. I done watched this shit happen so many times, and you never know what it'll take for something or someone to go viral, but it's what you do with it afterwards is what I'm going to be watching for. Everybody can be caught up into now, but I'm watching the after effect of this. That's where you'll see where somebody make up at. That's where you'll see where somebody truly stand. Is after the numbers go up and the phone calls are being made and endorsements coming, all that shit come around, is where you really truly stand as a man when those phone calls come. Where you going? You gonna go sit over there? You gonna go up there? You gonna do a Zoom over there? You gonna take that check from there? Nah, I don't knock none of that shit. Yeah, I don't know about that shit neither. Like, if this is the thing, right? And this is always to be my stance, right? If a motherfucker is speaking on their perspective of the fact that whenever you are a public figure, people are going to have a fucking opinion. That's just the way it go. It's his job to have an opinion. His job is to talk about your sports shit. And that shit that he said was 10 years ago. Damn near. Now, that shit was a long ass time ago. That shit was over. But now people are using that to bring back up that old shit. And it's been over. He been said that bullshit. And I don't even fuck with y'all. But realistically, that shit was old. You should have said something about that shit when he first said it. But it wasn't beneficial then. See, that's this shit. That's the shit that I look at. That's the shit that I look at. You saying something about it now, but that shit been said. What's up, Prince? That shit been said. No? That shit been said. You can't say you ain't know, but it's just now you have a platform. And when you was asked about that shit years ago, And anybody can look that shit up. I ain't feel like downloading all that shit. You spoke on it back then with a different type of energy because of the platform you was on, because you was trying to play the game, because that's the way this shit worked. But again, I don't knock none of this shit. But what I do understand is I get stories. I get narratives. I understand protagonists and antagonists. This is the way this shit works. This is where it go. And people get caught up into all that shit. People get caught up into it and they root for one side or the other. And they, oh, yeah. When for real, all these motherfuckers is benefit. The fuck out of it. That's just the way I look at it. That's my point of view. I could give two fucks. Just don't. Just is what it is. I agree with some of the rhetoric. I think some of it was misplaced. I think that was a case of, I want to say this just because I got an audience in front of me now to say, because I know it's people that think like this. But this motherfucker been around doing this shit, saying this shit. It's a clip. I found out about him because he was on Tommy shit. And I guarantee, this is what I know. This is what I know for a fact. If half of you motherfuckers would have saw that show of him being over there with Tommy, Kaka and Kiki agreeing with all that shit, you motherfuckers would have never fucked with him. But nobody saw that shit but the people that was watching Tommy shit. Like, that's the weird part about the shit. Because they share a lot of the same rhetoric. That part ain't come out yet, though. So ain't nobody gonna say nothing about that shit because they ain't seen that shit. They don't even know about that shit. They just fascinated with the shit that he has said about the so-called system of things and the people within it that people don't like. But wait till motherfuckers hear the shit that he said over there with the motherfucker don't nobody like. It's gonna be a whole different song and dance, and I'm pretty sure he gonna be back over there soon. I'm pretty sure that, especially with all this shit that's going on. But more power to dude. You know what I mean, salute the homie. Make the best out of this shit, cause shit like this don't last for long. Make the best out of this shit. Get in where you fit in and make this shit work for you. You got the numbers now. You getting the traction. You getting moving. This shit did more for you than being on Tommy platform, and that shit did a lot back then. Last year, left Tommy platform with like 30 something. You know what I mean? This shit happened. You put 100,000 on that shit. Now use that shit the right way. Salute to you. You know what I mean? That's my stance on this shit. I know a lot of that shit ain't nobody want to hear, but that's just the way I look at shit. I'm not excited. I haven't seen this shit before. I am not excited. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm not excited at all. Dead ass. But you know what I mean? That is what it is. Salute to y'all. I'm going to do something I very suddenly do. I'm going to I'm going to drop the link for the end of the show. For the end of the show, anybody that got something they want to add, disagree with, you're welcome to take part. I'm going to drop that. And we'll be right back.
Let's keep it a buck. You talking too much and I don't give a fuck. Invest more money, it's hard to give up. We keeping a distance like quarantine tuck. You want me to pop it down? Yeah, that's what's up. One in my league, that's one in a lot. I'm not from here, I'm from out the block. Ethiopian with African drop. Nigga, they in the higher rock. They picture me fuck, but they don't. Let's keep it a buck. You talking too much and I don't give a fuck. Invest more money, it's hard to give up. We keeping a distance like quarantine tuck. You want me to pop it down? Yeah, that's what's up. One in my league, that's one in a lot. I'm not from here, I'm from out the block. Ethiopian with African drop.
What's up, man?
Brother, man, I miss you, brother. I miss you. I've been watching a battle rap, man. I've been trolling and all kind of shit, dealing with life. But how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Hold on, let me fix my shit. I think my shit was fucked up. What's good with you though?
rattling and scraggly. You know what I'm saying? I need to shave. You know what I'm saying? And get my shit together. But I'll show up for you, my G.
You good?
I'll
Nah,
show
you
up for
good.
you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man.
How you been though?
I don't know. Have you heard me on 183rd outside?
Nah. I've been busy. I'm trying to get back in the flow of doing content a little bit because I've been so busy. But nah. But what's been going on? How you doing?
Hey, I've been over there roasted. They hate me, dog. I'm about to go over there and blaze niggas again. West Coast guy.
Yo, that starting shit.
It's ugly. Nah, they started the shit, yo. Start shit with me, yo. I'm like you, man. Hey, I'm like Kwame. I know Geeky. Hey, man, I can't believe your opinion, man. I can't believe your stance.
I'm pretty sure it was no. I'm pretty sure everybody felt the same way. It's just I know that if all y'all heard the shit that he said last year on Tommy Sotomayor's show, nobody would be saying the shit that they saying now. That's just what I know for a fact because of the way people feel about Tommy.
I don't watch Tommy, so I don't know what Kwame Brown was on there.
So see that's where understanding and knowing some of what his stance is, even though I don't even disagree with a lot of that shit, to be honest. But I'm going to have an opinion from the place of where people are having their opinion from. People only have their opinion from right now. If they would have saw what he said on that show last year and how his opinions are damn near the same as Tommy's, a lot of people would be saying, would be taking a different walk right now. They would be bringing up that shit instead of riding with him in the stance that he has now. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to get people to think of, because people label people off of their attachments when we can think more than one way.
I quit rocking with Stephen A. when he fucking wet the bed on Kaepernick, and then all the boule popped out dissing Kaepernick that Monday. All right. And that's
I got a different opinion on that shit. You're not gonna like my opinion on the Kaepernick shit.
That's what I want, man. I love button heads.
You wouldn't like my opinion on that shit. I ain't buying none of that shit.
Yeah, but you know, like Roddy Harrison jumped up saying he wasn't even black, even though he was black. But he's speaking up for black people. This is mind control, people. He told the truth. I'm sure the brother ain't perfect, but he told the truth. The go along, the get along gang, and all that. And I rock with Up in Smoke. I like this show. But come on,
they didn't say they didn't like. Come on now, that was uncalled for. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it funky. He cannot go around. He can't go around at anybody if they are talking about his basketball skill. And that's all they address. And nobody over there. This shit. No. This whole shit started about people talking about his basketball skill.
No. Okay,
that's where it started at.
He never said he wasn't a bust. He said he was a kid. He was lied on to until he was 17. Lied on, and he got tired of the shit. Who don't understand? Knock it the fuck off.
Now, listen. You can't. This is the thing. This is what you signed up for. But motherfucker. Could Michael Jackson
they didn't sign up for the shit too?
Hold on.
They didn't sign up for the shit.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Fuck all that. Nobody says this is where people pick and choose based upon them liking somebody. That's the shit that I'm saying. People pick and choose.
I heard you say,
because I like them.
He ain't said a word. I know.
Hold on. Because
LeBron is rolling. He loving this shit. He might have busted.
People like somebody. They would be willing to ride with something they say. Anybody up, but he been saying this shit. All this shit been said.
Hey, this is a Street Knowledge podcast, and
none of this shit is new. None of this shit is new. I'm just laughing because none of this shit is new. They been saying that shit. He been talking this shit for over 2 years on his platform. Every time they bring up rookies, Kwame Brown name come up, just like the motherfucker that was drafted ahead of Jordan.
He was
what
saying
was his
Becky
name?
Was he saying Becky with the white hair? a year ago.
What was dude? Yeah.
Word to the Laker,
Yeah.
Aaron, you know what I'm saying? The homie, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
but that was uncalled for though, because dude
Why
didn't
is that
say nothing.
uncalled for?
Dude
They
didn't
would
say
not
nothing.
up for 20 years. He got had enough.
Dude didn't say nothing about him. Now, come on now.
He asked him what
Come
I kept
on
doing
now.
it. They said
Come
they
on
were
now.
joking.
When somebody is talking about your basketball career and you chose to go personal,
They
one
went
don't
beyond that.
fit.
They went beyond that.
No, they did. No, they did.
Yes,
Not
they
on
did.
that. Not on that podcast. You heard the podcast, old head Deuce. They didn't say nothing about his personal life. They said nothing about his personal life. The only person that attacked him personally before he did was Charlemagne. Was the only one that brought up his family. Nobody else brought up his family.
Well, anybody, it's like Pac right now. Anybody say something, guess what? Man, that's why you watching. It's great. He had enough, man. He's had enough.
He had
He's
enough.
had enough. And guess what?
That's bullshit. Y'all can ride with that
shit is
shit all
great.
y'all want. That's
It's the
bullshit.
greatest shit.
That
It's the
has
greatest
more
shit.
to do with him having a platform than anything else.
Technically.
Period. Ain't no technically shit. That has more to do with him having a platform. They've been in sports. They talk about motherfuckers every day. That motherfucker that was drafted before Jordan gets talked about more than Kwame Brown.
Well,
And that's a fact.
Kwame Brown's MVP for that guy.
Somebody tell me what that motherfucker name is. What the fuck is his name? Because I can't not Sam Bowie. That's his name. Motherfuckers talk about him more than Kwame Brown.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan didn't talk about him. Michael Jordan said,
what are you talking about?
Jordan said Kwame Brown was the next Jordan. He's 17 years old, came out of high school. He said,
Lord have mercy.
Nah, he wasn't that. That's fine. He's a bust, right?
He wasn't really a bust. It was Michael. That whole shit was Michael Jordan's fault.
I'm a Lakers fan, man.
I would give Kwame Brown way more credit if he told the truth about Michael Jordan. Fuck all them people that's running their mouth. Tell the truth about what happened on that Wizards team. Do that.
He said
Tell that.
They worked about. He said they worked about 4 hours for the game, and then told him he wasn't playing, and then they put him in the game. Shit like that. But he hey man, fuck that. He's legit.
He's having too much pride to say exactly what it is. He having too much pride to say that they broke him. That Michael Jordan and that bum ass coach broke him for blaming him for everything that was going wrong on that team instead of blaming Jordan. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
And he knows that shit the truth, and he won't say it.
You're not gonna feel some kind of way about that though? Happening to you?
He won't say it. That misplaced anger on all the people that talk about his career, that shit should be placed on y'all greatest player of all time.
Okay. This in the last 72 hours started.
Bitch ass coach.
Wait. This is the last 72 hours started over him and what you said about turning down black men.
It's been going on longer than 72 hours.
Yeah, but 72 hours is hotter than fish grease. Because he worded that shit well and he roasted.
He used that shit to spill a rhetoric that he wanted to say in front of an audience because that shit didn't apply for the people that he was saying it to about him. It made no sense, but that's the shit that y'all wanted to hear. Look at it in context. Hold on. If I say to you, whatever your profession is, right? Whatever you do, like, no, fuck that. If you say to me, Street, you suck as a content creator. And I say to you, and you're only talking about me as a content creator, not nothing else I do. You're not talking about my family. You're not talking about shit. You just said to me like, yo, I don't fuck with your content. You suck. Your content is whack, is bullshit. And I say to you, oh, yeah, see, you just trying to tear down a black man. And fuck you and your family, fuck the horse you rode in on. You only talking about me as a content creator. You only just don't like my content. You only telling me my content is trash. You ain't tell me my life was trash. You ain't tell me my family was trash. You ain't tell me none of that. But I used that to be able to get the attention of an audience that I didn't have at first. This is all part of the game. And I get it. People are enjoying it. They loving it. But you can't fool me. None of these niggas fool me. Not none of them. Hey, all these motherfuckers that come around that everybody jump on. And it's always one or two They come around and people jump on that bandwagon and they get the pumping their fists in the air. And like I said, I would fuck with Kwame more if he told the truth about what happened on that fucking Wizards team instead of keep trying to say, oh no, I never cried. That man put that shit in his book that they brought you to tears. Say what really happened. Fuck how they feel. Fuck how y'all feel about Michael Jordan. Fuck Michael Jordan. That's the motherfucker you need to be talking about. Fuck all these little sports reporter motherfuckers that got an opinion. Say something about Doug Collins and Michael fucking Jordan. Do that shit.
Yep. I can agree with. I agree with some of that. I do, but the way he dropped it, the way he delivered it, at the timing, let's see where this thing goes. Hell yeah,
like that shit. Everybody do. I enjoyed the shit. I enjoyed it too. I'm glad to see his channel taking off. I thought it should have took off last year after he was on Tommy shit, and it did. It got a certain amount of numbers. You know what I mean? But he been talking like this. Salute to him because he been talking like this.
Yeah, his time has come. He's speaking up for a lot of kids.
What kid? What kids?
A lot of kids.
Y'all motherfuckers always talking about somebody speak. What kids?
He was speaking up for the kids and black kids the whole time.
What kids?
I don't know their names, man.
A lot of these motherfucking kids doing better than us. A lot of these kids, we need to stop that shit too. We need to stop this shit. Us old motherfuckers always talking about some goddamn kids. A lot of these kids got this shit figured out. When us old asses keep using a certain subsector of some of these kids to say something about them, when a lot of these kids don't even want to be gangsters or gangbangs or none of that shit, they just want to do this social media shit, and they got this shit figured out. And we keep putting them in this fictitious box of this other shit from where we came from. Is it a few of them out there doing fuck shit? Fuck yeah. That's always going to exist. But it's way more of them. If you look at the numbers, they done graduated. They done tripled our number of graduating. Going to college, all that shit.
Yeah.
They on some other shit. And we keep talking about saving the kid. These motherfuckers saving themselves. Fuck out of here.
I hope you're right.
Look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Look at our generation numbers compared to the millennial numbers. They have doubled our graduation rate from high school and college. And we keep talking about them like they a hot mess. No. They way better than us. It's just the ones that's outside seem worse than we was when we was outside, but it's way more of them inside than outside. And that just happens to be a fact, unfortunately, but it's a good thing. I don't know why we won't embrace this shit though. We want to keep saying the same old rhetoric that doesn't apply to them. It just don't. There's some shit that apply to them because they still got knuckleheads out there. But honestly, they on some other shit. They a lot better than we was in certain areas, especially when it comes to, you know what I mean? That's the shit that we're not looking at because we so far removed. We turn into the shit that we don't like. We start looking at shit through the media's eyes.
Yep.
Because we're not living in the environment no more. So we're looking at shit through the media's eyes. We're looking at the shit that we see on the news or we see on social media, and we didn't put all these kids in the same box. They all fucked up. They all bad. They all this. All their music is trash. All that. And that shit not true.
Yep. The blame is on us 24/7.
Facts. I gotta check out your Give me check out your show. Ain't you been doing a show on Twitch or something?
Oh, I'm on Full Blast Radio.
Yeah, don't forget to put it in the comment section because I keep forgetting to go on that. What's up, Smiles? Smiles, I know you got a battle coming up.
It was Busta Rhymes' birthday, man. They went thermonuclear. It was off the chain, yo.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Full Blast Radio. The sound quality is better on Twitch. The Real Heads is on Twitch. YouTube is like YouTube couldn't, too many strikes and all that. So they went over there. It's off the hook.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't. I haven't been able to get into the Twitch shit. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I haven't been able to get into it.
Yeah, it's a hassle to even sign up for that shit. But it's cool, man. But hey, man, great show, man. I miss you, man.
Who's that? I'm gonna come over there and fuck with you. I'm gonna come over there and check you out.
Hey, I'll be over there. They guaranteed to talk shit. I'm ready for their ass. Guaranteed. I'm gonna go off. Yeah, I went off on their ass the other day. You see the side of me you've never seen.
Yo, that's crazy. I appreciate you, King. You already know what time it is.
Oh yeah, 100, man.
All right.
All right.
Good with you. All right, so that's that. That's the end of this. I appreciate everybody that came by for this episode of Spin the Block Sundays. Something I'm gonna try to do every Sunday. And we'll be back starting next Tuesday. Me and my Hebrew brother with our show. Me and Dice cooking up something soon. I know y'all keep hearing that, but y'all don't realize how hard it is when you're living in different time zones and shit to try to, you know what I mean, get together on the same page at the same time. That shit don't always work out. You know what I mean? But we working on something. But shout out. It was good to see some people over here we ain't seen in a while. Shout out to the Prince. Dante Ash was here. Smiles was here. Smiles got a battle coming up on the 30th. He had a face-off a little while ago. Well, homie brought up some old whatever it was he brought up, you know what I mean? Shout out to Range. Shay was here. Dice was here. Liz, Capo, Handling, Blue, Crown, King Black was here. First one at the beginning of the show. Shout out to everybody in the bushes. Y'all already know what time it is. We don't get out of here. But before we leave, we're going to spin the block one last time. All right?
Spin. Come on, man. They gonna come down and do it. Jacob. They gonna turn back around too. They coming back around. Down to the shop. Yeah. Spin the block, spin it one more time. All the way. Got the job on you, send that side. Me and Durkee, yo, go back to back. Hanging out the window, Mac to Mac. Spin the block, nigga. Spin it one more time. I know that Glock, nigga. Load that one more time. Fuck them cops, nigga. Spin it one more time.
Moses, what are those? Take your shoes off, for those hoes are trash.
Me and my niggas draped up in all black with the gas ski mask, red a tag for my nation on the map. Remy.